Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have our top 8 games that were new to me in 2019. Now, I am going to forewarn you that it is very early in the morning. I have fallen behind on my production schedule this month, and so I'm trying to find extra time to do it, and I am not fully caffeinated yet. So we're going to try to get through this now, especially because, as anybody that's watched my channel before knows, that if I'm doing a top 8, that means I'm doing it in 8 minutes. So hopefully I can get through in the allotted time all these games. There's some really good games on this list, some games I was very excited to play, and some games that surprised me with how much I enjoyed playing them. Without too much else, I do want to talk about our sponsor real quick, Board Game Co. This is a great website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection over there with great prices for you to go choose from. You can just go over there and just buy a game from them, just like any other website that sells games, but you can also sell games to them, which is pretty cool, and you don't find as often as you might think. And they have great values available in terms of what games they will buy and how much they'll pay you for them. The value system is very clearly laid out over there, and that value system also helps you with trading games, because you can see right up front, okay, they will give me this much for this game, and this is how much they value this game, and so then I can trade this game in and get this game over here, or it'll get me halfway to getting this really big game over here, or this one game will get me these 3 little games. And so it really helps you as far as making it easy to trade games with them. So that's Board Game Co. They make it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. Okay, without anything else, let's get right to the list. This is our top 8 games that were new to me in 2019, starting right now. All right, number 8 is Terraforming Mars. Now, this was one that I had been wanting to play, and finally at Origins, I got it to the table and learned to play it. Fortunately, we had somebody that walked by, saw us setting this game up, and they were like, hey, let me help you learn to play the game. Yep, come on in, let's do it. And they taught me and my buddy Ryan how to play Terraforming Mars, and it was a fantastic experience. This game is all about your laying out tiles on Mars. You're building an engine there in front of you. You're getting all kinds of different technology and everything to increase the amount of water on Mars, to get the temperature into a livable area on Mars. And once those reach the appropriate levels, then the end game has begun, and then you end up seeing who scores the most points. Basically, who has pushed Mars into a livable state the best out of the players playing. That's Terraforming Mars. Number 7 is Tapestry. This game has, in my opinion, gotten a shocking amount of hate. I don't understand how much hate's out there, but I know there's a lot of people that like the game as well, and I'm definitely one of them. Tapestry is a really, really fun abstract civilization game, and so when I say abstract civilization, that's because yes, it has the civilization theme, but it is definitely much more of just a coating over it of this game that has these really interesting mechanisms. And you've got these 4 tracks that you're working your way up, and each time you move up on a track, it gives you a bonus, and some of the bonuses are mandatory, some of them are optional. There's a map in the center of the board that you're putting tiles down to kind of simulate your empire, and you also go through different ages, and because of the way the ages work, certain players will finish before other players, and it's really cool how you're using your resources to try to decide how quickly you're going to move through an age. That is Tapestry. Number 6, probably the biggest surprise on this list for me, is Pax Emancipation. I thought I probably would like Phil Eklund games, but I also knew how incredibly complex they can be, how difficult sometimes the rulebook can be to get through. Pax Emancipation was my first taste of Phil Eklund games, and once I really got through that learning curve, it was amazing. This is a game about trying to, back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, outlawing slavery worldwide. It's a cooperative game for the most part. There is at the end game, there is a way to do a few more rounds where it becomes competitive to see who has the better score, and there's all kinds of reasons why that happens. But you're basically going around the entire world and you're freeing people. You're dealing with barriers to freedom, and it's really, really interesting how it takes this real world set of events and distills it into this game. That's Pax Emancipation. Number 5 is Twilight Imperium 4. This is a game that I was positive I would like. I only got to play it with 3 players total, so I really want to play it with more. I feel like if I had played it with more, maybe it would be higher up on this list, but 3 players was still good. It was still a fun experience, and since we were all 3 brand new, I was the one that actually learned the rules, and the other guys were kind of familiar with the rules, but we were all brand new, so it was I think it was a really good way for 3 people to learn the game without it being just a truly all-day experience. This is a massive space epic where you have, you're setting up this universe at the beginning of the game. That part of the setting up the board is part of the game, actually, because you're choosing where all the different tiles are going to go, and then you're spreading out your empire. And the one buddy that won the game, it was actually pretty close up until near the end, and then he kind of got the last few points real fast, and so he ended up pulling away at the end, but it felt the whole time like anybody had a chance. That's Twilight Imperium 4. Root is my number 4. This is a very, very asymmetric game where each player's faction has an entirely different rule set, entirely different way of winning the game, entirely different way of generating points. One faction is the cats, and they have control of the forest. They're this industrial faction that's come in, and they're chopping down trees, and they're building their industrial engine, and they are trying to build, and that's the way they're going to score points. The Eerie are in one little pocket. They used to rule the forest, and now the cats have taken it from them, so they're coming back in. They're trying to take back over, and they get points at the end of their turn, mainly for every roost they have out, and that sort of thing. Then you have the Woodland Alliance that are the rebels that are coming in and trying to blow everything up, and then you have the Vagabond that goes around and just starts whooping up on everybody, and that's how he's getting points, is through that. Or he might get points by making alliances. That's Root, my number 4. Number 3 is Medora. This is, wow, such a big game. It has a storybook that's 500 pages long, and all kinds of minis and so much equipment, and the skills and spells and stuff like that you create. There are no archetypes for the characters. You build every character's skill set from the ground up in Medora, which is probably just so interesting how they make that work. There are some complaints about balance with this one, but the team that made it is really working hard to make adjustments, and they actually just finished up a second Kickstarter with the 2 other chapters for the game, or 2 other acts for the game. Very, very excited to continue exploring the world of Medora. Number 2 is Spirit Island. This one I don't own. I need to get it. Let's see. Other than Terraforming Mars is the only other one on the list I don't own. Played this one at Origins as well. Had a couple that I'm sorry. My buddy Ryan, I believe, is the one that taught this one to me, but this other couple was playing with us. But Spirit Island is, the colonists are coming onto this island, but you're playing the locals, and well, more specifically, you're playing the spirits and gods of the locals that are kicking these colonists back off. You use fear and all other kinds of tactics to get rid of them. Every single spirit in the game has a very different way of playing, different power set. It's very cool. That's Spirit Island. And number 1 is Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. This game is stunning. Absolutely amazing. I can't get enough of this game. As soon as you see I've got Kingdom Death out here, I'm working my way through a Kingdom Death campaign right now. Once I'm done with this Kingdom Death campaign, it's going to be Tainted Grail you're going to see up here, because I'm going to knock out the entire campaign all at once. It is a 13-chapter campaign. It takes place in a dark version of King Arthur's legend, except that this is, I think, 600 years after King Arthur. King Arthur and his knights went, they found Avalon. It was already occupied, and so they basically killed everyone that was there when they got there. But those people were using this magic called the weirdness, and King Arthur and his knights and Merlin figured out a way to push the weirdness back, but now the weirdness is coming back. And so the heroes have gone off to try to stop it, except they never came back. So now you are the B squad, maybe really even the C squad, trying to fend off the weirdness, and it's not going well. And so you've got to kind of follow this storyline. Very, very dark, really, really interesting storyline. That's Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, my #1 favorite new to me game in 2019. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to support the channel, there's various ways in the description below, including ways to purchase each of these games, or most of these games, in the description below. So be sure to check that out. If you do go over to Board Game Co., please click on the link in the description below so they'll know that I sent you over there. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.